I believe that when it comes to preparedness, resources is one of those things that everybody should be concerned with. And resources will dictate a lot. Essentially, will dictate whether or not you can thrive or you can just struggle or possibly not make it, to tell you the truth. Now, resources do have a dollar value attached to it. And the problem with that is that nowadays, well, the dollar doesn't go that far. Inflation has played a huge part in how people can actually prepare. But today I want to give you a few ideas of how to prepare with limited resources and the things that you can do to at least have the things that you need without breaking the bank. If that's the best way that I can put it. And this come about because a lot of folks are thinking, well, I need to prepare, but I don't have the income to do it. But here's the thing: when the poop hit the fan, if you don't have these items, it's gonna make it harder for you. It's not gonna make it impossible. It's just gonna make it harder. Now let's focus on a couple of things. Let's focus on the basic things: water, food, self-defense, and movement. I'm not going to talk about shelter because I assume that you are living either in a house, in an apartment, in a condo, something. So let's not talk about shelter because honestly, shelter will be one of those complicated things that you're going to have to deal with if the poop hits the fan. I mean, if you own your house, that's a different story. But if you rent, if you don't have enough to pay the rent, well, let's just say that we will have to dedicate an entire video, just to talk about shelter and the things that you can do if the poop hit the fan and you can't stay in your location or in your dwelling because you don't own it and your landlord just comes in and be like, all right, get out. So let's talk about that in a different video. Let's just focus today on water, food, self-defense, and mobility. Now, let's talk about water. Water, in my opinion, in this case, nowadays, is the easiest things to get, over with. If you drink milk, you probably have gallons of milk, just laying around that you already pay for. So all you have to do is just clean it up, open the tab, and fill it up with water. A lot of municipal water is treated water already. So in most cases, are safe to drink. However, I will advise you to get a water filter. They're not that expensive nowadays, y'all. A Sawyer Mini, last time that I bought one was like, what, $15? That's not a lot of money for something that can filter a lot of water. Now, there are other options out there. Get the one that you need for yourself. But gallons of milk, fill it up with water, put it away. A lot of people drink soda. If you don't drink soda, ask your family members, hey man, do you drink that liter of soda? And if you have, can I get the container? Bring it home, wash it, clean it, put water in it. Just store away water in those containers. Even the small bottles of soda that like a Pepsi or something, don't throw it away. Bring it home, clean it, and fill it up with water. That way you can, toss it in a backpack and you don't have to buy a canteen or something like that. Now, for the sake of this video and complying with YouTube policies and whatnot, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to handle things that are not allowed to handle per YouTube policies. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have this picture right here. At least you have an idea of what the things that I'm speaking of. Okay, so that's to get around the whole YouTube thing and being safe and whatnot. So that out of the way. Food, stick with the basics. Stick with the basics. And one of my last videos, I mentioned to y'all freeze-dried food, or freeze-dried food. They are great, but they are expensive. So keep that in mind. Rice, beans, oil, and salts. You'll be fine with that. I mean, it's not like you're going to have a feast, but you'll be fine with that. And as we go into self-defense and whatnot, I'm going to give you ideas of how to procure food as well. And since we talk about food, let's jump already into Because food in this case, y'all just stick with the basic. Is very minimum. All you have to do, very minimum. Now, self-defense. A lot of folks are on the defense. Well, a boomstick is going to cost me a lot of money. Boomsticks don't cost a lot of money unless you go into that category. There are some up there that are good, and it's not going to cost you a lot of money. Now, the ones that you see right here, or right here, this one is a 22, but it does come with 2 cylinders, and this is one of the cylinders. This is the actual 22. The one in the picture has a 22 Magnum, so you have the ability of running 3 calibers. And you can say right now, like, well, Billy, you should say 22 or 22 Magnum. You can also run 22 shorts. Yes. Again, be careful. Seek professional guidance when it comes to this type of thing, especially training. I forgot to mention that in one of my videos. Thank you, the community member that put that in there. Always train. Always make sure to follow the rules and regulations in your area. Now, when it comes to that, my biggest advice to everybody is get a good holster. These things are worth their weight in gold, honestly. A good holster will last you a lifetime. I am not a fan of Kydex or anything like that. I am a fan of leather. Leather will protect your investment. So this is what I use. This is a leather pouch that I can use, or a leather holster that I can use for the picture that you are seeing in there. And pretty much all my, small boomsticks I carry with leather. That's it, plain and simple. You also are seeing in the picture a knife. This is the knife that you are seeing in there. This is a buck knife, and if I remember correctly, it's a $3.97, buck $3.97. Honestly, it's a really good knife for the price. I think I bought this at Walmart several years ago, and I think it cost me about $30. Nowadays, I checked before I did this video, and you can still find them at Walmart for $45. That's not a bad deal, y'all, to tell you the truth. We are in a budget. We have limited resources, so this is the one that I would say to you, get. It is really good. The blade is really thick. It does really good with animals. And if it comes to it, it can serve as a self-defense tool. So, really good tool to have. Another thing that I also want to put in your mind is there are, if you cannot have a regular boomstick, air rifles or air small boomsticks or small handguns are available too. Now, this one that I'm showing you here, this one, it's a little expensive, but in my opinion, is one of the best that I have come across. You can use the ones that use the CO2 little cartridges. In my experience, those things you always stuck with the CO2 cartridge. The CO2 cartridges are not that expensive. You pay around $18 for 25. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The 10 first shots, you good. After that, it goes down. So it's completely up to you. And the last thing that I want to mention, it's just for you to get food. A lot of states has regulations when it comes to fishing rods. It says something around the lines of you need to have a fishing license when you use mechanical assistance, like your little reel. That's a mechanical assistance. However, this right here, this long pond fishing rod, it means that it just extends. It's a telescopic one. It doesn't have any rails or anything like that. It's just a string hanging from the top. This is the one that we use the most in Florida in the canals. This is 13 foot to be more specific. And let me tell you something. I had caught, not with this one, this is a new one, but I had caught in Florida thousands of pounds, and I'm not exaggerating now, thousands of tilapias and thousands of pounds in general of fish with this type of rods. And the reason why I use this is because if I have a gate warrant coming to me, the moment that he will see me with that, no fishing license was required. So he can check the bucket, but that was about it. So most of the time, 9 out of 10, when they will see me with that, they will kept on going. They don't even ask me, because that right there, at least in Florida, does not require a fishing license. So check your regulations, something for you to be aware of. Those pond fishing rods, essentially all you do is like stick it out. They have different sizes, but in some states, they don't even require a fishing license, which is a savings for you. And I swear to you all, they do work. Now, let's jump into transportation. That's the last one that I want to talk to you. Transportation is one of those things that is going to cost you a bit. So you have to bring down the cost of transportation. And what I'm saying, bring down the cost, is you need to think how much it costs you to drive a car. You have to pay insurance, you have to pay maintenance, you have to pay gas. What else? Some folks have to pay tolls to drive in some interstates and whatnot. So we have to think outside the box. And outside the box is something that we did a lot when we were kids. When we were kids, we did not have a driver's license. That's another cost. What do you do when you were a kid? I'm pretty sure that almost 100% of you are typing right now, we rode our bikes everywhere. That is the solution. That is the solution that I want to give you when it comes to transportation. If you can ride a bike from point A to point B, you're going to be way better off than just driving a car. Bikes are a lot quieter than a car. You do not require a license to ride a bike. In some states, you are required to have your safety equipment, but that's outside the point. That doesn't cost that much. Bikes are very easy to repair. You, with no skills whatsoever, can change the tire, can change the little brake pads, can keep it greased. And let me tell you something, it helps you stay in shape. Now, the bad thing is, if it's raining, you're going to get wet. Make sure you have something to cover yourself with. If it's snowing outside, well, make sure that you have fat tires, or make sure that you wear proper clothes. Here in Alaska, it will be really hard for me to ride a bike when it's 40 below. Impossible? Nothing is impossible. If you have to, you have to. When it's raining, when it's snowing here, again, hard to do so, but it can be done, and it's a very viable way to transport or transportation that people have used for a very long time, and because of the comfort of the car, people have moved away from it. Now, with that being said, a lot of folks too rely a lot on GPS. Try to move yourself away from GPS. I showed this in the passing here. Try to get yourself maps. Try to learn how to use a compass. Why I'm saying this is because if the power goes out, like they have been, the most recent event was Facebook, Instagram, and some app, WhatsApp or something like that. It went down. If the GPS goes down, and if you're not able to use the phone, what now? You're going to get lost? Well, if you have a map, you're good. Now, everything that I said, let's bring all in. You have now a bicycle that you can use to move from point A to point B. Very quietly too. Nobody even would notice you, if you're riding a bike. Nobody would, honestly. When they see you riding a bike, it's like, whatever, it's just exercising. Now, you throw yourself a backpack, and you get one of these tools in there, for self-defense or to procure food. A rabbit, squirrel, a coon, whatever it is. I'm just saying, whatever it is. Again, you have it in your pack. You throw yourself this little fishing rod in your pack. Fits perfectly. You have now the ability of getting food. Remember what I told you, not to throw away the bottle of soda, the small one. You can fill it up with water. You throw that in your backpack. Now you have water. Bam. Now you are prepared. You see what I'm saying? A little bit of food, and you're ready to go. Listen, y'all. Yes, preparedness is expensive, but only if you want to make it expensive. If you have limited resources, you can make it. You just got to be smart. You got to plan everything out. You have to put it on a paper and write everything down and really think, what is it I need? What is it I want? What is it I require? 100%. I would say to you all, everybody requires to have a knife. Everybody does require to have a knife. I mean, if you can't even carry something to defend yourself, at least this as a bare minimum. If you can't carry that because that is too loud, how about we switch to air power? You see what I'm saying? That would take down a squirrel. I had take down rabbits with that specific one without a single problem. I can carry 250.177 pellets, and they was weight nothing, and it sounds like nothing because it has this little thing inside that it keeps everything from riling. You see? Quiet. But I can still, somehow protect myself because nobody wants to get that in their body. Just saying. It's like having a slingshot. That's another viable way to get food. Slingshots. You see, there are ways for you to do it. You just gotta, think about it, see what your needs are, and go from there. Don't let nobody tell you that you cannot prepare just because your resources are limited. No, you can still do it. Now, if you have unlimited resources or more resources, all it's going to happen is you're going to be better prepared. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. This topic, I think it deserves more conversation around our community, and I will try to do more videos in regards to how to prepare with limited resources. I think people will definitely benefit from videos like this. And before we let you go, make sure that you like the video. Make sure that you share the video with anybody that you want and on any platform that you wish. We have to beat the censorship that YouTube has over all preppers channels. So that is it for my spiel today. Like I always, rock on, prep on, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.